Welcome to the Not Nerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Hello, and hi there.
Welcome in.
Did I trick you? Did you?
Yes.
I was under the desk there trying
I
to
was
plug in
hoping
some...
you would show up.
Yeah. So, how are things going?
Good.
Yeah.
Just a normal morning. Nothing really happening. Just figured I'd pop over to your house and watch the Apple event this morning.
Yes, it was very fun. The Wonderlust
Yes.
event. Makes me feel kind of funny inside when I say a word like that. Yeah, we watched here at the Baylor compound the Wonderlust event, and we're going to kind of go down the list of what we saw and regurgitate it, and maybe have a little commentary on what we talked about.
As one does. And
Yeah.
you'll notice no hat today.
Oh.
Out of reverence for Apple,
Yeah.
I decided to keep a bare head.
Speaking
But I
of...
did wear my...
Oh, crazy one. You know what? I was this close to wearing my black Apple shirt
I
that
should
you
have
bought.
told you.
I was going to do it, and I was like, I kind of like my collared
Your
shirts.
collar,
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess I could have put it under and did one of these things.
Yes.
So, next time.
Yes.
Next
and
event.
we are live on YouTube as per usual, a different time, Tuesday around noonish. And Wes has joined us in live chat.
Hello,
An
Wesley.
afternoon delight. The boys of Not Nerd. Why, thank you, Wes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was about an hour and a half, just under an hour and a half event. And what did they start off with, Dave?
They started out with an intro video talking about how Apple Watch has saved lives. So for a mere hundreds of dollars and an Apple ecosystem by buying the phone and perhaps a computer with multiple thousands of dollars, you too could get your life saved by an Apple Watch. Now it was I think it was titled Birthdays. They were having all these birthday events about people, and of course they would have an Apple Watch on. And then it was kind of slowly revealed that these people were alive again to celebrate a birthday because Apple Watch saved their life, which was kind of cool.
Yes, indeed. Oh, and Todd's here too, producer Todd.
Hello, Todd.
And he said, "Oh, hi, I didn't see you guys. Come on, come in."
So, Todd and Wes, you're always invited to come over and watch the live event with us.
Oh, yeah,
if
we
you
could
want.
set up some chairs in your spacious room here. And
yeah, and we could do an ultra wide angle camera lens, and we could do a panel maybe.
Oh, yes.
That might be
We
fun.
need to do more creative stuff
Or
like
we
that.
could put them over there as the audience, and they can watch. If you saw the space I'm pointing to, you might laugh. But I think we could hold 3 people in there maybe.
Yes.
So-
A limited audience.
Yeah.
Live audience. But yeah, so they start off with that video. They'll often do something like that to get your emotions ramped up. And then Tim Cook came on, gave a quick update on the Macs that they introduced, the 15-inch MacBook Air, the updated Mac Studio, and the new Mac Pro. Said they're all really great.
And the Vision Pro's coming next year. In case you forgot.
In case you haven't been saving up for
Be
that
saving those bills.
$3,500 to get your Vision Pro.
I keep saying $3,000, but $3,500.
Yes.
That is significantly
That's a big jump.
more.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's what it starts at.
Yeah.
We've yet to see detailed pricing, but they did say early next year. They are confirming that, and they're still working hard, and everybody's enjoying it. That is lucky enough to try it out, but
Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm still slumming it here with my Quest 2 up there. You can see it right up there.
Yes. And Wes said we definitely do need to have him on because he said he'd be here holding a cardboard sign and a foam
in
finger.
the back, yeah.
And for our
great.
normal episodes, anybody is welcome on Monday nights to stand out front of Dave's house until we turn on the driveway
Yeah,
cams. So.
I don't have the driveway cam set up today, but as you can imagine, it's a bright sunny day here in Sherwood, Oregon, and the sun is glinting through the trees and casting fine shadows on the ground.
Yes. But so then Tim said they had 2 things to talk about today. The Apple Watch and the iPhone, and they started off with the Apple Watch. Last year we got the Series 8, and this year we're getting the Series 9.
I called it, and it looks a lot like this.
Yes, which is a
Series 5.
Series 5.
So, yeah, I should put that on.
Yes, but you will remember, interesting note, there was not an iPhone 9. They skipped from 8 to 10. but they did go with the Apple Watch Series 9. So it's got a new S9 chip, 5.6 billion with a B transistors.
That is a lot.
Updated Siri and health stuff. New ultra-wideband chip for finding your phone. New display with 2,000 nits.
And that's double of last year's Series 8, so it's super bright.
Yes. And now I think this is going to be one of the biggest things. They introduced a new feature which they kind of previewed with the Vision Pro, but it's a double tap feature where you don't have to touch your watch. You can set certain actions to do, or where you happen to be, like pause music or answer a phone call. You just do a double tap with, or I guess it probably has to be your watch hand.
Yeah, it does. It does. It uses like some sensors. And I thought when they announced double tap, I thought, oh, finally we're getting some video games, first person shooters where you double tap your guy to make sure he's dead. But no, it has to do with the watch.
So a finger gesture, so you're not having to use Siri or actually touch your watch with your finger or your nose, as some people do.
Isn't this a rude gesture in some cultures? It's like, bye-bye,
Yes, I think it can be, but they went with it anyways. So they're going to have pink, Starlight Midnight, Product Red, stainless gold, or in stainless steel they'll have gold, silver, graphite. So there's 7 different color options for the new Series 9.
Yeah, that is 7, isn't it? I mean, the colors are what they are. They didn't have yellow. They don't have green. They don't have orange or something. It's just the basic stuff they normally have.
Yes. And then we launched into a extremely long segment where we had an appearance in a skip video from Mother Nature.
Yeah, Tim and crew were all very excited and nervous for a guest that was coming, and it happened to be Mother Nature. And it was kind of a cute little video where they talked about their environmental impact, and basically it could have been summed up in one sentence. Hey, we're Apple. Everything's going to be recycled and renewable. End of video. But they made it more involved than that.
Yes, they're getting rid of all their leather products. They're doing a bunch more recycled. They're doing, they're going to be carbon neutral. Get rid of. Did they say at some point they're going to get rid of all the carbon in the world? Which
it said our goal is to get rid of carbon from the atmosphere, and I'm like, don't plants and animals need that to survive?
Yes. Let's get rid of some of it, maybe, if that's what your goal is, but not all of it.
Let's get rid of appropriate amounts.
Yes, all those forests that you were so excited to tell Mother Nature that you had planted, those forests won't be doing so well if we do not have any carbon dioxide left in the atmosphere, because they need that.
They do need that.
So they talked through that, some other environmental stuff that they have their 2030 goals, and they were kind of taking some slight digs at other companies. Mother Nature was saying, oh, every company's saying that. 2060 you're going to get this done? And they have much more.
They're like, well, no, this particular thing's next year. And it's just like, oh, okay.
Yes. So it was kind of this weird, like right in the middle of the Apple Watch thing, that they went into this long environmental thing, and then they came back to talk about the Apple Watch Ultra 2. Now, I have the Apple Watch Ultra 1. I absolutely love it.
Get rid of that garbage. Throw it over there.
And the one thing that I am most frustrated about is the only reason that I would upgrade to the new one is, from what they are saying, only the new Series 9 and Ultra 2 will have that finger tap gesture. It's like, you could bring it to this, please.
They could. But it might use more battery, and then they couldn't get
the new processor has new nanobits that will allow you to tap your fingers. I'm guessing it's some sorts of sensor that gets, but we'll see how that works out. I think it's going to be a great feature, and if you are looking at new Apple Watches, that will be very nice to have. I'm just upset that I probably won't get that. We'll still have to, like a barbarian, use my opposing finger to be able to tap on things.
I'm going to go to hover.com right now and secure it, nanobits.com.
Nanobits.com, yes. And I did, the one thing that I thought of initially with that finger tap is there's been several times where I'll set my phone up on a tripod to take like a family picture, and then I'll use the camera remote, because you can kind of see the frame of the photo on there, and you can tap a button to
or you can do timer.
Yeah, you can do the timer, but I always seem to have the timer button off or on, the opposite of what I think it is. So I have lots of pictures on my phone where I'm looking down at my watch, clicking, and everybody else is smiling at the camera.
And you get your head. You just need to
Yes.
put your sunglasses right there. So.
There you go. There we go. And move my mustache up.
Yeah.
But so September 22nd, the new watches, I think you'll probably be able to pre-order this Friday. And then they'll start coming out next week. So, Dave, you're on the Apple Watch.
The 5.
The 5.
The 5. And I bought it used off of Craigslist. So, I haven't enjoyed it for the totality of its life. I'm thinking I need to get the Ultra 2. I think I really need to do that. I didn't have the money for the Ultra 1, and then later I could have amassed some money, but I'm like, they're going to do an Ultra 2, so why should I waste
you're
my
getting
money?
closer to that.
Yeah, so I really want the Ultra, but I could settle for a 9, I guess.
Or
Like a poor
I could
person.
get you a good deal on an Ultra 1.
I don't know. We'll see.
Wheel and deal. I will match Apple's interest-free payment program.
Interesting.
I will not give you the Apple cash back,
Yeah.
though, that they give you. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk off air, as they say. Maybe
No, let's spend about half an hour talking through the details now. Can you
Well-
get out a piece of paper and we'll write a contract?
Well, I'm going to get my spreadsheet out and put all the pricing out to see what the amortization cost is over time and what you paid, etc. So.
Yes. But then we got to the good stuff.
Oh,
The
yeah.
iPhone 15s.
We're already down to the 15. I guess we are, aren't we?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no, we skipped the Ultra 2. We were bragging.
yeah.
We were bragging about how the Series 9 had 2,000 nits of
Yes.
brightness. The Ultra 2 watch has 3,000.
3,000
nits.
nits.
I know. That's even brighter than some iPhones that we're going to be talking about here. So yes, iPhone 15. They have 1,600 nits of brightness and 2,000 peak nits of brightness. And so let's talk more about nits. I think the audience is really concerned and interested about the brightness of screens.
Yes.
No, they are not.
What is the I do want to look up the definition of nits.
Isn't that the little things that are in your hair from lice?
It is the egg or young form of a louse or other parasitic insect, especially the egg of a head louse.
So you want fewer
lice
nits.
attached to a human hair.
I would buy devices with fewer. Is there any with 0 nits?
Yes. I do not want... But
well, while you're looking that up, they come in 2 sizes, the iPhone 15, the 6.1 inch and the 6.7 inch. And what was cool about the design of this, because it didn't change much, but the back is now one single continuous piece of glass, which is kind of cool. And so if you look at my ghetto, out-of-date garbage last year's phone, I mean, I guess it was that way too, right? Isn't it the same?
Yeah.
Where it's like one continuous piece up into the camera thing. So anyway, I was getting excited about that, but it looks like they already have it.
Maybe it's different on the non-pro models.
Oh,
there was
the
a lot of
non-pros.
it. That's part of it that gets confusing for us because we're pro phone users, and the non-pro phones, it's like, wait, we've had that, and it's like not on those phones.
Yeah, that's true. On the basic, quote, basic phones, that's a new feature.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's cool. And then they've got the I'm losing my place here.
The 48 megapixel.
Yeah.
So last year the pros got the 48 megapixel main sensor. They are adding that to the regular models, so that will be a huge upgrade on the non-pro phones for the main camera. It still only has 2 lenses on the back.
So they've got the one ultra wide,
Yes.
which now can crop to a standard width camera. So there's kind of the ultra wide and standard cameras, and then the second lens is the 2x telephoto, or is it the 3x telephoto?
No, I think there's the ultra wide, which is the same, GoPro effect, and then the main one is the 48 pixel 1x.
That can crop.
And that crops in
I see.
to a 2x, so you're getting basically a true 2x zoom on that, which the non-pro phones did not have zoom. They had the ultra wide and a normal
and a
one.
standard,
So
yeah.
you could do the digital zoom, but not. This is truly a physical zoom, but being able to crop in that big sensor.
So they, in effect, have 3 cameras now with 2 lenses because they've upgraded to a 48 megapixel sensor, which can be cropped to a normal size sensor.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's all very technical, but the camera is better in the iPhone 15.
Yeah, and a lot of other improvements with that. Now, the iPhone 15 has the new A16 chip running iOS 17. So we have 15, 16, 17.
Easy to remember.
Easy to remember.
Yeah.
No reason for anybody to get confused, but of course, the new chip, better, more transistors, faster.
Yeah, stronger, I think, too.
Yes. And they have the 2nd generation ultra wideband chip, which is the Find My Friends, Find My Watch, Find Your AirPods, all of that stuff. They've upgraded that. Roadside assistance with AAA via satellite, free for 2 years.
Yeah, so like on your watch and some other devices, they had the SOS, like if you're in the middle of nowhere, it can connect to a satellite and give you SOS. Well, now it's got a collaboration with AAA so that you can get roadside assistance via satellite. So that's kind of nice. And it's, I don't think AAA is free for 2 years, but the connectivity piece where you can contact AAA through your watch or your phone or whatever is a free thing for 2 years. And what happens about every 2 years? People get new iPhones.
Yeah.
And so instead of paying for the service, you just get a new iPhone in 2 years. So one of the big things that is at the bottom of the phone that we want to talk about is it no longer has the ghetto, and yes, I'm using that term a lot, Lightning connector port. Well, the new port on the bottom is the USB Type-C, which, let's do a quick rundown here of things that are USB Type-C. My Kindle Fire, my Playdate, my computer, my
iPad Pro.
I could go on and on. There's all of my little Nintendo handheld things up here.
I thought you were pointing at your Atari cartridges.
No.
Those are not USB-C.
Well, they could be. I was going to grab one. But anyway, my little handheld gaming things. Basically, everything I buy these days is USB Type-C. And so it's really, this hard drive that's sitting right here, among other things.
Yeah.
I mean, within my reach, there's probably 15 or 20 devices that are USB Type-C. And so now the new iPhone 15s are going to have that. And on the Pro models, there's some additional features that make things faster. We're not quite there yet. But the benefits of USB Type-C are going to be felt far and wide.
Yes. And there are going to be a ton of articles of Apple's changing their charger again. They're changing it. Now, if you remember back, I think it was like 2012, so like over 10 years ago that they changed from that nasty wide 30-pin dock connector down to Lightning. And the difference is, like Dave's talking about, when we went to Lightning, nobody on Earth owned a Lightning cable before they announced it.
No.
Now, I would say the vast majority of people have a USB-C cable. They're available anywhere. You can get 1 million of them for $1.50 on Amazon, delivered overnight.
I got a box of USB-C things, many of which are USB-C. So I've got lots of them.
Yeah, so if you do get one of the new phones and you don't have USB-C stuff, please take some stuff off our hands so we can empty out some of our piles of USB-C gear. But so I think this is a great transition. It was time. They kind of got maybe forced into it by the EU and some regulations. But I think it is going to be so much better. Life is going to get easier. Unlike having to replace all your 30-pin cables with Lightning cables. Hopefully you already have some, or you can get them very cheap. And, Android phones are, I think, all USB-C now and have been for a couple years.
They have been for a long time.
Charging between people, a USB-C world, there are some complications with it, but overall, the world's going to be a better place. I just want to make sure people, once you see all those headlines and people trying to say, how dare Apple, they hate the environment, it's like, no, this is better in all ways.
If you have the misfortune of traveling with somebody who has an Android phone and you forget your charger, now you can borrow their charger.
Yes.
And vice versa.
And you still have the wireless, the MagSafe, and Qi charging, all of that stuff. So that's all there as well. So that was, we're still working on the USB-C. So those start at $7.99 and $8.99,
which I think were the prices last year.
Yes, same prices.
They recently did price updates, so they didn't do it this time. But I think last year they did, so I'm glad they didn't raise the prices again.
Yes.
And then the main event,
for us at least, and for most people.
And the iPhone 15. And Timmy, can you turn on the titanium song here? I am titanium. The iPhone 15 Pro. Our producer Timmy is 1. He's 5, and he's not.
Don't tell Todd about producer Timmy.
And he's not in the room, so that
he doesn't exist.
He doesn't exist. It's a figment of my imagination. Anyway, the new iPhone 15 Pros, instead of having this luxurious, very heavy stainless steel rim, is now made of titanium, which is beautiful, light, strong, brushed.
Yes, I don't know if you can see on my caseless iPhone there. The lighting is not the amount of fingerprints and the slipperiness.
It's terrible. I have to have my leather case, even though I think this is fake leather. Can we talk about that a minute? Shouldn't it be illegal to call anything that's not animal hide leather? Vegan leather? What's vegan? It's not. It's something.
Didn't we look into that? Else. It's like calling almond milk.
I know it's not the same thing.
Anyway. Yes, we gotta stick up for the cows here.
Yeah, come on.
Can't the cows have anything?
You're taking away. Well, one, we can't eat them anymore because it's bad for the environment. Now we can't even use their dead animal bodies to make beautiful cases.
Yes.
What in the world?
Yes. So anyways, titanium, a very strong metal. It's one of the things I was excited to hear. It is lighter, and they were able to make the phone slightly smaller with the same screen size using titanium. So the new iPhone 15 Pros are actually slightly less wide and less high, and about a half an ounce lighter. So I was looking at the specs, and the 15 Pro Max is only half an ounce heavier than the 14 Pro regular size. So I think that's a really big feature. The titanium looks great. The brush sides. I'm excited for that, although it doesn't impact the use of the phone. I think it's a good move.
Well, your pants slide down because you got all this stuff in your pockets. You don't need another heavy phone in there. And we were told that it's the most pro iPhone ever.
Yes.
It's the most pro, whatever that means.
The iPhone 15 Pro is more pro than the iPhone 14 Pro or any of the iPhone Pros before that.
That's worth buying right there because it's more pro than it's ever been. Yeah. So it also comes in the 6.1 and 6.7 inch sizes, but with the pro features like the titanium. And also the ring switch. This was not a change that happened on the iPhone 15
The regulars. No, it was not. I actually checked while we were recording here. So every iPhone in the history of iPhones has had this little silent switch here.
That flicks up and down.
Up and down, and it's got the little orange line or whatever when you're muted, which my phone always is, and I recommend most
should yours be.
But they are switching that, so now it'll be an action button similar to on the Apple Watch Ultra one. The buttons is termed an action button. And so you can use that button. You could have it set to be mute, unmute, but you can also use shortcuts. You can have it open the camera, which I'm really excited about. You can start an audio memo. You can do pretty much anything through shortcuts, but you can use that button, press and hold to activate something instead of having that switch. I think it's part of it just having a moving switch on devices gives room for error.
They break and water can get in there or whatever.
Yes.
And for all you singles out there looking for a little bit of action, maybe you ought to look into the Ultra Watch or now the iPhone 15 Pro.
Yeah.
With their action
button. Some action with the action button. Yes, so that is a change. There's a new A17 Pro chip, which has a ton of new things. It's the 3 nanometer process, 19 billion with a B transistors.
And they didn't say this, but we're assuming they're using all 19 billion to do their stuff.
Yes.
So.
Yes, not a one wasted. Everything's faster. They didn't really spend on any of the stuff this year talking too much. There was a couple, this thing's 25% faster, this or that, but
and it's
not
always
a
hard
lot
to
of
write that
those
stuff
details.
down. Like one thing was like, this is 30% faster than the iPhone 14. I'm like, so last year's regular phone, we're comparing it to this year's Pro phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what does that mean to me? No, nothing.
All you need to know is they're faster than last year, more efficient. So as you mentioned with the move to USB-C on the Pro phones, they will be getting USB 3 speeds. So it'll be up to 10 gigabits of USB speed.
Yeah.
How did they give a number of how much faster it was? Is it 10? I think it's about 10 times faster than Lightning was, or the USB will be on the iPhone 15.
So point of order, will the iPhone 15 USB-C only use USB 2.0 speeds? So it's going to be about the same as Lightning?
Yeah,
Lightning
I did see something about that. Yeah, so it's not getting faster, which is kind of a bummer, but again...
It was fine before for most people, so who cares?
If they can keep the price a little lower with that, and they really want to differentiate a Pro phone, a normal person, they're not transferring gigs and terabytes of data off their phone.
Yeah.
The Pro users are. They just did a photo shoot or took a bunch of video. They need to transfer it quickly.
And speaking of that, and we'll come back to the ray tracing thing, the cameras on the Pro phones now have log encoding. They've got the 48 megapixel sensor, and they are also using, I have it in here, 4K 60 frames per second ProRes, which is an incredibly huge.
Yes.
It's like you have a 256 gigabyte iPhone and you can get 5 minutes of video on it.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so with this new USB Type-C, especially with the 3.0 speeds, you can connect hard drives directly to your iPhone and film, and the data goes through that bus right to the hard drive. You don't even have to copy off stuff. So this is a part of what makes it the most pro phone ever, because professionals can use it in their current workflows to get information in and out. You can't do ProRes on phones that don't have this USB Type-C, or else you're going to be spending all your time copying small files, large files off of small hard drives onto bigger hard drives. It's a mess. So this was really needed. And before we talk more about the camera, they have a new feature that's built into the chip called ray tracing. The feature of ray tracing is it gives a more accurate representation of how light works in a scene. So if I had a 3D model of this room in my computer and I enable ray tracing, it's going to look at how that light comes out of the light source to the object and into the camera. And you may not want to know this, but it actually goes reverse. It goes camera out to the object and then to the light source is the way it's rendered. But it's more accurate for things like video games, 3D programs, those type of things. Will it affect normal users? No. But it's the most pro phone ever, and the pros will really appreciate this feature. Now back to the camera.
Yes, indeed. That's one of the big things that people are paying attention to. One of the reasons why I get a new phone each year is because they improve the cameras. So, again, the main 48 megapixel sensor, it is improved over last year. It is some percentage bigger, a larger sensor, better. So that means it's better with
larger
night mode, darker scenes.
Size matters.
Size does matter. So they've got the ultra wide, they've got the normal 48 megapixel, and then they have on the iPhone 15 Pro, they have the 3x, an improved 3x zoom lens. But on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, they've gone back to differentiating them. They have the periscope-ish hexaclad lens, which allows up to 5x zoom. So it's been, I think, 3 years since the Pro and the Pro Max were different. And they said during the thing that due to the larger size of the Pro Max, they have a little more room to fit this in there. But so it'll get 5X, which they said is about 120 millimeter equivalent to a regular camera.
And in some phones, some Android phones that this is experimented with in the past, the periscope lens functionality, currently there's the lens, and behind the lens is the sensor. And you just get a small little millimeter worth of depth. Well, in a traditional periscope lens, they would put a prism, which would point the lens down the phone, and then they'd have the sensor horizontally in the phone, so the light path goes from here down, and now you've got a lot of distance between your sensor and the lens. Well, Apple, I don't know if anybody else has done this, they developed a multifaceted prism, which takes the light through the lens, and it goes this way, and then it goes this way, and then it comes back this way, and then it finally hits the sensor.
Yeah.
So you're getting all this distance, but it's still stacked in a very small stack between the lens and the sensor. So it's crazy. It blows my mind. But that's Apple's version of a periscope type lens.
Yeah.
You can get a 5-inch reach. But this gives users effectively 7 different lenses in their computer or in their iPhone with just 3 practical lenses, or discrete lenses. So that's very interesting.
Yes. And I was disappointed. One of the things that I mentioned before, Dave, is like, I'd like to see something better with the front-facing camera. They did not mention the front-facing camera one time.
I think they took it off.
The selfie camera, if you will.
Yeah, they just took it off.
Just removed it.
To save weight.
Yes.
I think it's exactly the same. So, yeah, what was it last year or this year? I guess it'll have this year's specs on it.
Cameras. So the main...
And no matter what, the front-facing camera on your phone is still better than anything they've ever put on a computer.
Yes. I don't even see mention of it on... I'm on the Apple Compare page.
Interesting.
No.
Yeah, they don't even mention
Video recording. Front camera.
it's a
there.
whole section. Okay, that's why we couldn't find it.
Yeah, it is the exact same.
12 megapixels, which is fine.
But they do have, we haven't mentioned yet, a new Smart HDR5.
Okay.
I'm reminded of versus 4. So they're doing even more where it's taking the multiple photos and condensing it, giving you better lighting. And there's some features back on the 15, a lot of software, computational photography stuff to take better pictures. But the 15 Pro Max, and the Pro cameras, it's just that zoom difference, are much better, and they are going to let you take... so there was the Pro RAW that they introduced last year, where you could take the RAW photos that are massive file sizes with the full 48 megapixel thing. They are doing 48 megapixel HEIF, which is the high efficiency image format. So you'll be, I think they said the default for the standard lens is the 48 megapixel or maybe 24. They're doing something, but to summarize everything we've said about the iPhone cameras, you're going to get better photos with these phones than you did with older phones, and it really looks impressive.
To the guy in the T-Mobile store, does this one have a better camera than this one? The guy can say,
yes,
it's better.
Yes.
It's better.
And the last thing they talked about on the cameras is using 2 of the lenses on the Pro models, you will be able to take spatial video, which will be used on the Vision Pro.
So it takes a 3D stereo. You use these 2 cameras. They work together to give you a 3D image because of the parallax between the lenses.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And there's going to be a lot of content that people are going to have already for when the Vision Pro comes out. And I'm wondering...
Ooh, I want the Vision Pro.
The Vision Pro?
Yes, we could both use that.
I'm in desperate need of that. But like with my Meta Quest here, maybe I could take some photos or some videos with my phone and then view them in 3D on my Quest or my Vision Pro or any other 3D. Maybe I can put it on my computer monitor and cross my eyes. And
there you go. Use 2 of your monitors and split.
Yeah, split them.
Well, and that's, one of the things that people talked about in the Vision Pro presentation was the dad who's like cooking breakfast and he's got his goggles on so he can video his kids in the the spatial video, but I thought immediately when I saw that, I was like, eventually they're going to let the phones do that. We were talking about, you said, well, maybe next year, but they are going to do it so that people can start capturing that. And watching it anywhere besides the Vision Pro, that we're not so sure on yet, but you will be able to do it. And I think that's the spatial video. I think this might be finally when the 3D craze catches on, unlike your 3D TVs.
We'll see.
But not many people are going to have Vision Pros. But Apple, if anybody can do it right, it is Apple. And there was one last thing that they did talk about briefly. Well, the phones, the iPhone 15 Pro starts at $999, the same price, with 128 gigabytes of storage. The iPhone 15 Pro Max,
the big one,
starts at $1199, which is $100 more than last year, but you get double the storage. So it's actually the same price for 256 gigs. They just took out the 128 gigabyte model tier. And I did look, because I got the 512 last year. It's $200 more to go from 256 to 512, so that's a big jump. I think it was $100.
Yeah,
maybe I could be wrong on that.
I've got the 256, and it's been fine for now. I personally could use a 512, but I don't think I'm going to spend money on it. I'm just going to have fewer apps and do better management. But I have more places to store all those things because the one last thing that they were talking about, and that wasn't a one last thing.
No, it wasn't a Steve Jobs-esque tribute.
They casually mentioned it, that the iCloud Plus now has larger storage tiers. I think you can get up to 12 terabytes of storage. Probably cost you like $200 a month, but
it probably does. Because like right now the maximum is 2 terabytes of storage on the Family One plan, which is what I have. And the guy in another podcast, he's like, I take a lot of photos, and he's got like 150 kids or something like that. So
is he Elon Musk?
Yeah. But he's like, I'm quickly running up to that, and I'm having to kind of delete stuff to keep under that 2 terabytes. He's like, after how long have we had the iPhone now? 15 years?
Yeah.
You've got a lot of photos stored in iCloud, and if you have the family plan, multiply that by multiple people. So I think now there's a 6 terabyte and a 12 terabyte, which for some people that's really, really going to be necessary as we move forward. So I think that was a good thing.
Yeah. Unless you get a Synology device, and I'm working on getting all of my photos backed up on there. And who knows, I might actually remove some of them from iCloud. Well, I'm definitely going to remove them from Google. I might leave them in iCloud.
Yes.
Because we know that one backup is none backup, and I'm not going to play the sounder.
And Chris Kent has entered the chat at some point. I just noticed it. He said, "What's up? Love the echo effects." We might be getting a little bit of crossover since we are sitting in the same room, but Todd and Wes didn't mention it, so maybe it's something new we introduced.
I hope there's no echo. That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, and I've got to text message my wife.
And while you're doing that, so in summary, we've got the Apple Watch Series 9, we've got the iPhone 15, and we've got the iPhone 15 Pro. And from what I've recorded here, it seems like all of them are going to be available September 22nd, which is 10 days from now.
Yes, and a quick sidestep.
Oh, I think I have a button on that.
I almost could have pressed it myself.
Yeah, you can feel free.
But the new versions of iOS and iPadOS and watchOS, the actual public versions, those typically come out within this next week. So you'll be able to update your current devices with that if you weren't on the beta programs. But, okay, so Dave, Series 9, Ultra 2, iPhone 15, iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. What are you thinking?
Well, the financial planner in our family, a.k.a. my wife, will have to approve this, but I would really like to get the new i15 Pro Max for myself as an upgrade from my 2-year-old 13 Pro Max. And I think either an Ultra Watch 2 or 1, looking at yours, might be in my future. And then I think it's time for my wife to get an upgrade as well. And honestly, I think she would do well by getting the regular iPhone 15 Plus, the larger size.
Yeah.
Her eyes aren't as, young as they used to be, even though she's just every bit as beautiful as the day we
Yeah.
got
Well,
married.
once you get up to 29,
Yeah, I
you
know.
start getting older, the eyes go bad.
That's
But
true. It's facts.
and producer Todd said, no, it's been echoey the whole time because your mics are bleeding into each other, which we kind of guess there'd be a little of that. And he said, unless this whole episode is a pick of the week.
Yeah. Well, we can press the echo button, but it's not going to work.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, sorry about that. I guess we could turn down the audio a little bit.
We could not talk so excitedly.
That's true.
Yeah, so I think that makes sense for me. Apple Watch, I'd love to get the Ultra 2 unless I can trick somebody into buying my Ultra 1.
$50.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I probably won't upgrade that. And then I am on the iPhone upgrade program, so I pay a monthly fee and I get my phone, get the new phone each year plus Apple Care and stuff. And
Yeah.
I will let people know I've been using this for nearly a year now and caseless. And
There's only one ding on it from somebody who dropped it on a cement sidewalk on a bridge.
yes.
And thankfully didn't drop it over into the water and rocks below. But yeah, it's held up relatively well.
Yes. Yep. And yeah, so I believe I'm a true believer in having the best camera because I love taking photos and video, and I'm not the best at it. So let the best tools for the job. So I am going to look at the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I might go with the 512 gigabytes of storage. I haven't. I was always pressing up against the 256. I haven't gotten close to the 512 storage, but this is going to be the year when I start filming a lot of video for Not Nerds. So this is the year that I need that 512.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's a chance. But and when it works out to the monthly payments, I think I was looking at it. It's with the Apple Care and all this stuff in the upgrade program. It's going to be like go from like $63 to $68 a month or something like that.
How will you ever recover from that?
Yes. I'll buy one less Big Mac per month. Not that I buy a lot of Big Macs, but really exciting stuff. I mean, what's your overall feel on the upgrades?
Good. They did everything that I wanted and expected them to do. I do wish that they had more exciting colors in the i15 Pros, but I mean, I usually put it in a case anyway since I'm not as adventurous as you.
Yes.
You have way more money than me, so you can afford to drop yours.
Yes.
And I've put a glass shield on this, which I've never broken, and it's got a nice, robust case. The only thing wrong with this phone, and I hope they don't ding me when I trade it in, is I had a case before that had kind of a crappy. It was a clear case and it had the MagSafe adapter thing, and there's a small little rub from. You can see it right there.
Oh yeah, from the bottom of
because
the.
there's textured glass on the back of this, and that magnet kind of rubbed
Just enough to wear it down a little bit.
Smoothed it out a little bit, but that's the only thing. So maybe I'll get an older person evaluating my device who doesn't really see real well, and they'll be like, "It looks perfect to me."
Yeah, and I do have a pro tip, and I get to press the button. That's so nice.
Yeah.
But the trade-in values, they talked a little bit about the huge trade-in that you can, get up to like $1,000 trade-in or whatever. But look at your carriers too, because they're motivated to sell devices. And yeah, so if you want to pre-order this Friday morning, probably at 6 a.m. Pacific is what they've been, or is it 5 a.m. Pacific? It's early. They go off East Coast time for some silly reason, but early Friday morning you can get the pre-order if you want it right away, or wait till Christmas time. They'll probably have some deals and stuff, but it is very exciting. And if you guys have questions, like we say every time Apple has an announcement, we'll be listening to a ton of podcasts this week and hearing all the stuff that people are figuring out, or the people lucky enough to talk with Apple and get some of the behind-the-scenes information.
Yeah, there'll be some videos and stuff. Hey, I have a small pro tip as well.
And Chris said he's not hearing the sounder, so maybe I'm literally the only person hearing the sounder.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Ding.
Special episode.
Yeah, this is not our normal thing. I usually can hear what's happening. Yeah. Today I cannot. So I had a friend stop by. We're at Costco, as one does. Eat
Oh,
lunch,
yeah.
and they stopped by, and she said, "Oh, I got this black kind of half circle on the edge of my screen." And I went to the Verizon guy, and he's like, "Oh, that's not covered under your warranty or whatever." I'm like, "It's literally a broken screen." He goes, "Is it?" I'm like, "Yeah, your screen is broken." So that guy didn't know what he's talking about. But this all boils down to, if you can do it, buy your iPhones directly from Apple, not through Verizon, not through AT&T, not through T-Mobile. I go into the Apple store, I buy it from them, or I do it through the app, and you can still do your carrier through the App Store, and you get all the same discounts, you get everything. There may be some different promotions and stuff, but in my experience, it is not ever worth buying your phones through the carrier, because you get these ding-dongs who don't know what they're talking about. If I have a problem with my phone within the first year, some type of defect or whatever, or if I have Apple Care Plus, I hand it to them. They go in this room for like 2 minutes, and they come back and they're like, "Here's your brand new phone, sir. Enjoy it." No questions, no whatever. It's just the deal.
Yes.
Even if it costs $50 more,
yes.
it would be worth it.
You have to calculate in the holistic cost.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes, but you have to. We should just start doing manual sounders. Or maybe we can get producer Todd to sit on an audio channel and just.
We'll put him in a little box up here, and whenever we do a thing,
he'll do his actions, and we'll play. He can make the sounds. But
pro tip or whatever he was doing.
I need to post that one again. It was part of our 400th episode, but producer Todd, with your permission, and props to Dr. R.I.P. VHS.
Vulnerable.
Yes.
Vulnerable.
Yes, indeed. But with that, I think that's pretty much the Apple event. Let us know in the comments or wherever if you have any questions. If you missed us being live, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube and ring the little bell. I got a notification this morning. It's like, Not Nerd's planning on going live in half an hour, and so that's worth doing. We love doing this, and a little different this week. So next week, Monday night, 6:30 p.m. Pacific
Back
time.
to regularly scheduled programming, Nate.
Yes, we will get into this. We'll probably cover some of this stuff a little more as we find out more information, but we'll have all the usual segments, get back to the driveway cam, just the headlines, all that stuff that we need, that you have come to enjoy by us cramming it down your throat. But with that, happy Apple Event Day, and thank you for paying attention so we can all get out there and tech better.
See ya.